better with that. That's what I think. Let me see if I'm right.
You may not like what he says, but he'll say it anyway, He's the baddest cat in town, He's got the sharpest tongue around. Never looks for middle ground.
Am I leaving that there? Are you serious? You know what? That would be great for me, but now isn't this other shot completely out now? What are you doing over here? Advertising wires and mic clips? Unbelievable. This is a hell of a show for a Monday in the summer. I just want you to know where most talk shows hosts are on vacation right now. And I'm in the studio barely. Friday was a nightmare. I thought Friday was all over. I thought you were going to read about it in Talkers. That's it. I'm sure we'll get mentioned. If I ever just, what do they call it when you're spontaneously combustion, right? If I ever just explode into a burst of flame. It'll be like a religious thing. People start worshiping the carpet that I scalded. They'll go, that's the carpet, he did it on. Well, they already say that, but, Oh, man. Now, we got to hook up the blue-collar guys today. Because that guy, he's terrific. I had no idea what his company did until he really hooked me up and made me understand, and they are terrific. So I got to tell you that story, which is a really good one. It's a terrific story. It's a story of success. It's a story of
Ed Till Show.
Kind of thing I believe in. It's the kind of stuff I believe in. I want to talk about what I believe in because Brent is interesting. President Obama with us all morning. Honestly, I think I can go around with either one of these guys. If they're doing their thing, I'm doing mine. Okay, so stand by. I tell you what makes America great has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with going down to the courthouse. It would be nice if nothing spilled during the next segment.
Come on, everybody. It's Ed Till.
Man, that tastes good. All right, shut up. Here we go. You ready?
Now that you tune them in, you know what I mean.
I feel like I have some of that facial thing going on. What is that? Neuralgia? She's cute. I saw her. Is she on Modern Family?
He's on the speaker's mind.
That Chinese girl, right? Neuralgia? Or is she the... No, she's the Tropicana girl for the orange. I always get that confused.
Come on, everybody.
A lot of things going on here.
It's Ed Till.
Competing for my attention. Not necessarily yours, believe me. Not worthy of yours, necessarily. Comes walking in here today. He's like, Sasha, Malia. I'm like, that's a part of the start of the day. Is that paper is... Oh, boy, here we
how
go.
To juggle.
Here we go. Watch it. Comes a curveball.
And I've got two daughters
that's
I care about more than anything in the world.
So that's why you want to settle the Middle East,
so this is personal for me.
Girls would like to go over
I think it's personal for a lot of people.
I think a lot of people like to see their daughters go over to the Middle East.
This is not just a women's issue. There's a middle-class issue in America.
Just fix it up,
I welcome a bipartisan effort.
You got it, me too.
With ideas coming
I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying. This is
Republicans,
right on,
Democrats,
whatever you got.
from
Sasha,
Malia, faith community, about how we
Sasha, Malia, and Maria from down the block, don't come over, just hang out.
Now, and they're bringing out their biggest star power in order to push this summit, push this message. The president's going to speak. The First Lady will be speaking as well as Vice President Biden and Jill Biden.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it.
That's right.
My life has value.
That's right. Tell him. No. Now what? I'm going to go.
I want you to get up now.
You want me? Oh, no.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs.
I don't want to do anything.
I want you to get up right now.
You do it.
Go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I want you to get up right now. Get up, go to your windows, open them, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell.
I want you to stick your head. Okay, take your head, stick it out the window, right? Say, I'm a Sunni, and I'm not going to take this Shia crap anymore. Go ahead, do it. Say, I'm a Sunni, Allah, and I will not put up with this Shiite over here, okay? Hi, listen, I'm a Shiite, and I am not going to put up with the Sunni. This Sunni guy thinks he's going to tell me what's up. I'm a Shiite. Do you know that I'm a Shia? Some people would say, like Shia LaBeouf, just like that, but it's different, but it's close enough for you to write it down and just know what the hell you're talking about for once in your life. Jesus. I'm a Sunni, and I'm not putting up with this. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's it. Taking over territories, blowing out state lines. You know, it's like Thelma and Louise were dating 10 guys as angry as them. Yeah. And these dudes are like, did you go near Thelma? And that's it. I love when it makes me think of the Middle East when you see Thelma and Louise go off. You say, like, that's American foreign policy, just right off the cliff. And ooh, look, Gina Davis. Wow, she was. Didn't Gina Davis win an Oscar for Earth Girls Are Easy? I believe. Awesome actress. That was Meryl Streep in her, right? I love Gina Davis.
Just for middle ground.
I don't know what happened to her. She was with Jeff Goldblum like last year, and that from the 80s. It seems like, doesn't it seem like that? It seems like I was going to the dentist, and the guy was telling me, you know, my cousin is Jeff. I said, you're kidding, Jeff Goldblum from The Fly, the Fly. He goes, that's the one. He goes, the one that's with Gina Davis. Oh, I said, wow. I said, hey, how's my root canal doing? He's like, you know, you're getting a Hollywood level. He goes, I've done, you know, dentistry on Gina Davis's cousin. I said, you have? And you're working on me? He goes, yeah. I said, wow, how can I afford that? Does my insurance cover celebrity dentistry? Obamacare? Yeah. Have Obamacare dentistry. What's your plan? The Obamacare dental coverage has a string and a doorknob, and you get 36 teeth, and it's go for it, my friend. The way they figure it is the spaces between your teeth, your other teeth will enlarge in. How about that one? It's going to blow up your jawline, your bite plane will be crazy bad. But it beats not having nothing. Or those horrible dentures. You don't want to be polygripping it, right? Oh, God. Imagine going in the store and saying, by the way, where is the polygrip? The lady says, really? Oh, sir, would you like to just have my uncle's phone number? He does, you know, implants. And you go, no, I don't think so. I think I need to. Sir, in good conscience, I mean, I love the people who make Polygrip. They're a nice group. They mean well. But if this is what it's come to, it's like mucilage for your mouth. Just some, oh, Jesus God, what the hell's going on here?
Eggtail. Come on, everybody, eggtail. Come on, everybody, eggtail. You may not like what he has to say, but he's gonna say it anyway. He said, chill. Come on, everybody, eggtail. Come on, everybody, eggtail. He's the baddest cat around. Got the sharpest tongue in this whole damn town. All the music, storylines, to all the main events. He's a voice in the wilderness that doesn't make any sense. He's a chill. The voice on the radio, sending out the truth to those who don't know. If you can't see your world out there, you better watch out.
Did you ever see a guy who thinks what he's doing is important? Everybody else around him thinks it's not. You know, that's the great Sisyphus, right? Wasn't he rolling that thing? I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's legend. It's a legendary story of mankind, where some idiot like me will try to do something he's totally not equipped to do, but he feels he must do it anyway. Like fly or jump off a building, whatever. And you go, what makes it? It's like when the guy goes, why would you climb the mountain? Because it's there. That means you're obsessed. That means you have a mental disorder if because something is there, you have to do it. Oh, really? What about if charcoals are on fire? Do you have to lie down on them, or do you have to eat? Do you have something? Do you have to do something? Why do you have to? What kind of answer is that? Because it's there. Why are you annoying me? Because I'm here? Is that why? Is that because it's an existential, you annoy me, therefore I exist. I think, therefore I annoy you, and you exist. You've heard that. That's from... I always forget, is that Descartes or Cartier? Which is it? Food carts are leading restaurants in growth. Here's a factoid for you, Friday. The food cart doing better than Chipotle. The food cart. Hey, what's the day? That guy, he's got a chicken walking around outside the food cart, and then he's serving chicken. I'm like, Maron, that is depressing for that chicken. You have no shot, but you're being used to market your own death. Say, here's the chicken. It's like the lobster in the restaurant. Look at me, I'm gonna die. Look at me, you're gonna eat me. Look at you, you're gonna eat my dead body. It's horrible. Who wants to be that in nature? At least if you're on the Serengeti, you're out there, you can make a run for it, and then the cheetah just outruns you, takes you down. But you go down in the act of running. It's brave, it's bold, it's courageous. You're majestically trying to save your life. The trials of, and it's beautiful. But this is, you're boxing this guy in. He's like, well, yeah, I'm out of here at 4. Oh, you back tomorrow? No, I am not back tomorrow. Check it. That's the worst question. That's the question he hates the most. That is the question he hates the most. Do not ask the chicken if he's in tomorrow. He knows he's not. If he's made it to the window, we had him in our window when we were, we had the butcher downstairs, Newcastle Butcher, Newcastle Meats, a meat company, whatever. Yeah, Newcastle Meats, I think it was called. And it was Joe, the butcher's name was Joe, and my mom would go in there, she'd ask for all kinds of, I don't know what a shank, I don't know what anybody was talking about. You have no idea that these are animals getting killed right behind the thing. And the slaughterhouse was attached to the slaughterhouse. So I grew up, there's a slaughterhouse on one side, and then there's a butcher on the other. You're like, wow, carnivore, you think? You think carnivore? What do you think, carnivore? I don't know, it's kind of a meaty subject, people say. It's a very meaty subject, The Who had a song, or an album, Meaty, Big, and Bouncy, right? I think it was about boobs. But meat really is, and he's out of there. That's it. It's your shawarma. And then, you feel like, I feel like a steak. Moo. And the kids go, Daddy, but it's Elsie the cow, and how will we have ice cream? And you're like, well, Daddy's hungry, that's why. Elsie, get out. And there's always one kid runs away. Just runs off the farm, never to be found again. They say, what happened? I don't know. Kid couldn't handle it, ran away. She's dancing in Vegas. Really? Oh, yeah. The whole thing is about the animals. And then you see her. She's in, the newspaper. First thing she does is, well, I thought that, the reckless and needless slaughter of the common goose and duck. Say, really? You mean the ones on the golf course? They were a menace to society. She says, well, I thought the senseless Holocaust. Oh, say easy now. Don't start watching the history. Don't start watching the History Channel. You're going to start using,
Ed Till. It's the Ed Till Show. Ed Till Show.
Whenever people say the senseless something, Isn't there always somebody who thinks it makes a lot of sense? I mean, to the wildebeest, does it make sense? You know, to the cheetah, to the lion, I love how the lions don't make it. Lions make all that noise, except when they have, more lions when they're lying with one another, and not to one another, but with. They make no sound, and she's ready to go like a clockwork every 8 hours. Hurry, and then you got to be out of town by sundown. One day, say, wow, we really are like the zoo kingdom here in my house, because it's one day a month. That's it. You're come on, hurry up, and you're like, okay, you better be in shape. I hope you ate something the day before. She's just ready to go, and the lions do a lot of distribution of labor. They do a lot of gender-based division of labor. Heresy today. Can't have that. Can't have women doing anything that women used to do. If anything that women used to do today, that's what gay men want to do. That's what they're saying. I'll do that. I'll decorate. It's okay. All right, so what should I wear? Okay, I wrote you a text. Look, you took your picture and the selfie. I looked at it, and here's what color shirt. And you're like, okay, thank you. What about my wife? Oh, she's driving a truck. She's trying to get escorted through the Appalachian Mountains. Really? Who does it? Well, it turns out the blue collar agglomeration guys. You probably know them from the show. They got a lot of terrific songs. I'll play them all for you one more time. These guys are awesome because blue collar agglomeration is their band, and they relate to truckers and all kinds of great stories in there. Great storytellers. Truckers have a lot of stories. Truckers tell stories. They're like the old cowboys of truckers. Truckers are like and cowgirls. Cowgirls. Cow ladies. How you doing there, cow lady? Yeah, that's gonna get you far. That'll get you laid at the old saloon, won't it? How you doing there, cow lady, cowgirl, cowgal? There you go. Cowboys, cowgals. It's horrible, the whole thing. Indigo girls, cowboy junkies, all that nuts. Do what you want. Be who you want to be. That's what I say. That's my advice to everybody. Do what you want, be who you want to be. But you expect the whole world to understand you? Everybody's got to go to some sensitivity training to understand who you are? This can't be what we're doing with our time. Okay? Nobody still has a job since the mortgages fell apart. How long ago was that there, John McCain? Ed Porga, he's still around. Every time I think about giving up, I'm like, oh, look at John McCain. He's going to beat you for the longevity award. I said, you're right. John McCain is going to work into his 90s, isn't he? I don't know. You're pushing 60. You thought you'd be on a boat by now. You said 55 was the number. I did say 55 was the number. Well, you missed it because you're way over 55. Way over. I don't want to say you're 58 going on 59, but you are way over. You are nowhere near 55 anymore, Mr. I'm about 55. You are not about 55. You are about 60, whether you want to know it or not. You're over 58. Statistically, every day is a gift. Do you know that? Or a possible involuntary exit, right? Exactly. Maybe that's how the relief comes. Maybe I'll be like in a gentleman's agreement with who was in that? Gregory Peck. Oh, he was great. And his mom kept getting these heart attacks that didn't kill her. It was great. First she had a stroke, then she had See, why are you putting this into the plot if it doesn't kill her? Just to worry Gregory Peck, So I was like, well, that is the right way to go when you just grab your chest and go, that's it. Like Red Fox in Sanford and someone, he would go, this is it, Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth. That's what he would say. Here I come. Well, let's see. It's coming up on 1:45 in a couple of minutes on the East Coast. That makes it 10:45 in the morning in Los Angeles, Sacramento, Marshland, Oregon, my old hometown of Portland, Oregon. What the hell was the name of that KXO? I don't know. It's something good. They have good call letters. KTOK, that's it. Bruce was a good guy. Bruce was the only guy that stuck up for me on that whole radio station staff. When whoever it was bought it out, he was the only guy. Everybody's like, just get rid of him. He sucks. Throw him up. And Bruce was like, Ed Till, he means it. He's nuts, but he means it. That's the difference. A lot of these guys, they're all nuts, but Ed Till really means it. We gotta...
Come on, everybody.
And they were like, Bruce, Ed Till has got to go. Baila usted la ramba and get him out of here, because it's Abri La Puerta time for Senor Jefe Eduardo. Tell El Jefe Eduardo it's over. Finito, Eduardo. Goodbye. And I was like, I can't. But he goes, don't worry. He goes, I know some place you can get the show on. And, they always do. There's always somebody who wants the show. There's always somebody who loves the show. I love how when other people go, the show sucks. He's overrated. He's been around forever. It's the same old thing. There's the same. Really, I've never even heard him do the same old thing. Even in one day, he doesn't do the same old. This guy, he's nuts on the air. They go, yeah. He's overrated. All that stuff. That's all hype. That's what that is. That's the big hype. He gets the ratings because he's hype, but it's all smoke and no mirrors. You know what I mean? You just can't see anything. It's all smoke and no mirrors. I can't see anything. It's all smoke. Crap. That's a pretty good line, though. I like that. Oh, my God. Finally, we taped something? Were we taping when I liked it? That can't be. It must be somebody else's show. He must be working on something else.
And the Iraqis are faced with. And what he's been saying, we're told...
I'll tell you what he's been saying.
Come on, everybody.
That's exactly what President Obama said the other day in the hallway of the way he goes, Jesus Christ, come on, everybody. Ed Till, can I get some help around here? I said, wow, I'm flattered. He goes, he says, I'd rather use your name as a curse, some kind of vulgarity. Nobody knows who you are. I said, really? Even when you mention me? He goes, nobody knows who you are. I said, why? I'm on these Part 15s. Well, whatever you're on. He goes, I don't listen. But everybody hates you. When I was on the campaign, I said, you're kidding. He says, oh, yeah, first time around with Hillary. They said there was always messages. Ed Till called for Hillary. And Hillary would crumple up the paper, and she goes, I love him, but he's crazy. So I looked into this, and it turns out you're not crazy. Everybody hates you on the air and boycotts you and, goes after you. What? That's right. So when I'm in the hallway and my aides come up to me and they go, Mr. President, Baghdad has had a setback. Your troops the troops that you're not sending are there, and they're being shot on. The ones that you're not sending, they're taking fire. Right? And I just scream. Some presidents, like Teddy Roosevelt, used to say, I believe his was Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat being a biblical name, a very, melodic, kind of multi-syllabic.
Come on, he's driving you crazy. Shut up. So pick up the freaking phone. It's the Ed Till Show.
So Jumping Jehoshaphat, was a good one to get off. So he says, now I say, Jesus Christ, come on, everybody, Ed Till. Do I have to? And that's it. He goes, then everybody goes, oh my God, he's cursing again. What is that? I say, I don't know. And nobody knows who you are. So it's the best thing for a president to have is a, douchebag like you on the air for 39 years. You're in there. You serve at my, everybody serves at the president's pleasure. I hope you know. Ever since Monica Lewinsky lifted up her dress, it's always at the pleasure. You follow me? And in this White House, we don't have a lot of pleasure. So you just serve, bro. Yes, Mr. President. So I got to leave you now, but I just wanted you to know I use your name as a cuss word, and nobody knows who you are. Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, thank you, sir.
In your majority, I've been coming to Iraq for 11 years, since the very first days of the U.S. invasion, and this is the worst I've seen it. Worse than the dog days of 2004 when al-Qaeda militants were assaulting Fallujah.
Ed Till.
Yes.
Ed Till.
It is I.
Ed Till.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Till.
Yeah.
Ed Till.
Stop wearing it out, bruh. Come on, what do you want? So what is it? What do you need? I got to do a thing here. It's 47 minutes, hours, whatever. Come on, what do you want? What are you waiting for? What is that? I can't. It looks delicious, though. You cut me off yep. 2. Give me 2 of that size. That's starving. So there's an ad over the weekend. You probably have seen it. They're selling, I don't know, something at Burger King or some, and the girl says it's cannoli flavored. She goes, I don't know what cannoli is, but it tastes good. I said, you don't know what a cannoli tastes like?
And I've got 2 daughters.
I can't believe between the 2 of them. She goes, nope, kids never heard. Nobody has ever gone to Italian, what is it, San Gennaro Festival? You don't go to that? You don't go to Columbus Day Parade? It's cannoli. She goes, I don't know, whatever that is. Whatever that is. Do you understand that Christopher Columbus is, he's Italian. Do you realize that he brought the cannoli? That's how the cannoli has been here since 1492. Oh my God. Brought the tomato. People always, they go, pasta comes from Asia. Yeah, the tomato sauce, Freddie. Tomato. Some say tomato, some say tomato. Everybody say thank you, Christopher Columbus, Eduardo. You follow? Everybody says that because it's the truth. Man, it's a bad. Everybody's got a bad attitude. What is with the attitude? He's Italian. That's good. Yes, Christopher Columbus is Italian. She goes, it doesn't end in a vowel. And I said, well, neither do you, come to think of it. You don't end in a vowel. I wish you'd end in a vowel, but you end in a consonant. You end in a very consonant way. If you were more vowel-esque, if you were vowelish, a little vowelish, I think it would be more, it just sounds like it's a consonant with you. It's a constant consonant, constant stream of consonants, just consonant after consonant, which is, consonant with your personality, but still consonant is just, it's something you need, something different. You want a vowel, you want to change it up, you want to inflect it somehow, diagram a sentence, something. You got to have something to work with.
Assaulting Fallujah in 2008-9 when there was an effective civil war. What's different now is that a huge portion of the country has been ceded now to al-Qaeda-tied militants, and that's the situation that Secretary Kerry and the Iraqis are faced with.
That's what they make it sound like the Iraqi people have anything to say. Between you and me, one-on-one, I swear to God, if you're in the room, you look straight in my eyes, here's the camera, as best you can stand it. Would you ever stay in a country that was at war like that? World War I, it was Germany and France. It's crazy. The whole country is blowing up. What would you do? There's no way I'm staying for anything. If you're going to make a regroup and make a run at it, maybe you could have, but you are not getting me to be shelled like that. They just shell them. They just shell these people, mow them down. It was terrible. World War I, they go never again. And now here we are, on the verge of another crazy bunch of people taking crazy amounts of territory, like insane violence. Oh yeah, that'll work out.
Come on, everybody. It's that
Carter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
All right, Grandpa, take it easy. Will you please?
The president's going to speak. The first lady will be speaking as well. Vice President
I'm a human being. God
but it also is clear, as I pointed out, and we talked about
Michael Jackson said the same thing.
Politics here don't hurt as well for Democrats. The Democrats have really centered their strategy in the midterm election on trying to win.
So here's my thing, right? This is what they call a press pass, right? But you need a hat to wear with it because this is the original. They give out the press pass. It looks like it's never changed.
Radios, and I won't say anything.
Hold a news conference.
Promises. You won't say anything.
Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, as well as Sunni and Shiite leaders. Kerry is stressing that sectarian divisions need to be bridged and a unified government formed before Iraq can stop this terrorist siege that's going on. Over the weekend, militant fighters did capture more towns and villages and are now pushing ever closer to Baghdad.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, lady. it's a valiant effort, I guess, to get up in the morning for you, but the rest of it, below par, honey. Where are all of these smart little Christian Amanpours, that are coming up the chain of command? Right? Wouldn't there be a bunch of buck privates that have been getting coffee and pencils and pads and reading glasses for Christian Amanpour? Amman. It's Amanpour, not Amanpour. Amman, like the country of Amman, city of Amman, Jordan. But it's one M with her, because it's inside the pour. You got to pour it. Shut up. All right, we have things to catch up on. Brent, great job on both the interview with Cecily McMillan, who's in jail. He's on the cutting edge. Matt Sky gets a plug in there. MattSky.com is a great guy. Matt is a terrific journalist himself, editing a piece. They're going to get it up on the web. They're going to get the word out to the revolution. It's like hanging out with Warren Beatty and Diane Keaton in that movie. It is. I'm like, well, the Revy today, he says, what did he say? What did Brent say before he goes? He says, I'm not going to be in charge of the revolution, so I don't know. I said, well, that's okay, even though you think you're not. What if you were? What if you were Lenin and Stalin? You're making that big deal. You're going to knock out Russia from the Tsar. You're going to get the Tsar out of there. The commissar's in town, and shake it up. That's what the cars say, right? Shake it up. Jack Cohen, this law school T-shirt on there. Shake it up. He loved the cars. A big night for Jack on Saturday was Saturday Night Live in the other room while he sat in his room working on case law. He'd come out for the Cars musical performance. He would sing to a hairbrush and then go back into his room. No one's seen Jack since then. Since he left the living room, he hasn't been seen. But if you're ever on North Kendall Drive in Miami and it gets really quiet, somewhere off in the distance in the Everglades, you can hear what sounds like Jack singing "Shake It Up" by the Cars to a hairbrush with his law school T-shirt on. Jack Cohen, he'd be fun to have on. Jack is like Sammy Davis, the first black Jew, Gotta get him on. Gotta get the Scooter on, too. The Scooter is great. Britt Hume had some good stuff this morning. Let me get that for you. But yeah, we missed Marion Barry. Hold on.
Yes. Millions of Americans.
They're coming on in here telling me what.
And they need some inspiration.
Trying to tell me.
See if Marion Barry can do it.
If I could do it.
I can do it.
Let me ask you this. It does seem as if the city, just among African American leaders, generational divide about where to move things. Whether it's it was what we just saw with Muriel Bowser versus the mayor, or we saw with Fenty. What do you make of that? And you've been on one side of this. The older generation is in one place, and the direction DC should go. The generation's in another place.
I don't think it's a generational divide. That's a figment of some press people's imagination. We have in Washington a lot of Barry haters. Barry press. We've got people like yourself and others who are honest journalists.
As far as I can see from here.
Black people, whether they're
from where I'm sitting,
or young,
that's right.
They want a better life for themselves.
That's right.
Washingtonians.
That's what I'm here for.
Millions of Americans
to get my life straightened out with
kinds
y'all.
Of things. And they need some inspiration to say if Marion Barry can do it, I can do it.
Let me ask you this. It does seem as if the city...
You don't ask me nothing. How about you let me finish, make about point?
So there's a generation...
How about you don't ask me nothing? How about you just let me finish what I'm trying to say, man?
Whether it's it was what we just saw.
I thought you was an honest journalist. Now you interrupted me.
Versus the mayor, or we saw with
versus nobody. It's nobody versus nobody. See how you set up a false dichotomy.
Generation is in one place.
That's a false dichotomy you got right there. That's false, that dichotomy. Some dichotomies is true. That's a false one. I don't know how you want to tell people it's a dichotomy. That's a lie. It's a false dichotomy. That's a false choice. They tell you that. You heard about that one? That was a sequel to Sophie's Choice. It was a false choice. It's an Ed Till show with that's my grandson. He's talking to somebody in the hallway, shooting off his mouth about something he don't know about.
There's a destination, a little up the road. unknown, from the habitations of the towns we know. A place we saw the lights turn low, the jigsaw jazz and the get fresh flow. Pulling out
where to move things, whether it was what we just saw with Muriel Bowser versus the mayor, or we saw with Fenty.
Where's that? I got two turntables and a microphone. Where's that? I got two turntables and a microphone. Where's that? I got two turntables and a microphone. The Ed Dill Show. Two turntables and a microphone.
That was a good drum break. Pick yourself up off the side of the road with the elevator bones and your whip flash tones. Members only, hypnotizers move through the room like ambulance drivers. Shine your shoes with your microphone blues. Your suits with your parachute boots. Passing the Gucci from coast to coast. Let the man get Wilson.
Broad sectoral sanctions, but the president did warn about that in that phone call with Vladimir Putin, Wolf.
And the president continuing to speak now.
What's going on, buddy? What you got?
Working families and kids. We're going to continue to monitor that. That's an important issue for this president.
Wolf is on the case.
He's got so much on his plate right now.
Monitor that. Well, Wolf means putting a whole flat screen, dedicating an entire flat screen TV to watching.
He's got a huge agenda
Wolf.
Good man.
You're a good man, Wolf.
Reporting on this.
Do your thing.
Throughout
Do your
the day.
job.
Jim Acosta, our man at the White House.
Ed Dill Show. The Ed Dill Show. The Ed Dill Show.
You like being Wolf's man? It's Wolf's man. You get it? Wolf's man at the White House. He goes, that's our man at the White House. Wolf's man. That's my man. He goes, that's our man. Our man. Who's we? Who is we? You know who we are. Wolf, what are you trying to say? You know who we are. Wolf, don't take that tone with me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I have to go. The sun is going down. Wolf will be in the middle of his story. And he's like, oh my God, the sun is going down. First thing he asks is, what time zone are we in? Wolf, we're in the United Arab Emirates, wherever the hell that is. That's where we are. Why? Why are you? He goes, I have to know what time the sun goes down. Why? Wolf? Wolf, you're looking at me kind of. Are you hungry? You don't look like you slept very well. I bet you were hitting that absolute last night, weren't you? Just to hang on? Were you hanging on? It's not easy when you transatlantic flights like that. George H.W., the father, Bush 41, is that? Yeah. He used a lot of Halcyon, and he had a whole thing with that, some kind of anaconda reaction. But it's hell on your equilibrium and the stress on your, your whole metabolism, your body clock, all that stuff is all whacked out. So it's not your fault, you know. I know you get blamed for it, but, what are you going to do? Everybody who's been there knows what it takes to be a champion. The people know that. So you're not responsible for that part.
The Ed Dill Show.
Be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
Yeah, well, we all want a lot of things, don't we? We all want a lot of things in life, don't we? That's what I like. I look at people, you know what I want? I always go, really what? World peace? What are you looking for? How high are you going with yours? How much are you going to ask for? Now that we're asking for what we want, are you going to go get something good, or are you going to just get with the same old thing we're having all the time? Because I'm tired of, the same old thing. If we could just mix it up a little bit. What are you asking for? What do you want? I don't know, chocolate syrup on my... Oh. I thought you were talking about, like, getting rid of all birth defects. How about that? Infant mortality, 0. Something like that, right? World poverty wiped decked out. Everybody, has all the Band-Aids and clean drinking, whatever they want. You know what I mean. Just to get them through the bathroom, to get them out of the house, they can brush their teeth is a big deal in some countries. So how big are you thinking when you say, you know what I want? When you go, you know what I want? You say, no, what do you want? Well, cashews after the cereal. So you're still on this ice cream sundae? I'm asking you, what do you want? Banana split with it.
Washingtonians, millions of Americans who are going through all kinds of things.
Get all up in my face.
Inspiration.
Telling me what.
Marion Barry can do it.
Anybody.
I can do it.
Let me ask you this. It does seem as if the city, just with among
does it seem that way? It does seem, really. Oh, it really does seem.
Where to move things. Do you know,
it seems. Totally seems.
We just saw
it seems.
Muriel Bowser versus the mayor.
Whatever you're talking about.
Fenty.
Yeah, no, it seems that way.
What do you make of that?
What do you make of that? It seems, it looks like one side. What's your side?
DC should go.
I see one side. I figured I would take my one side and find out if it matches your side.
Some press people's imagination. We have in Washington a lot of bad haters in the press. We got people like yourself and others who are honest journalists.
You're pretty honest. I'll tell you that right now. You're pretty honest as far as they go. As far as they go. I mean, you're still a reporter, right? As far as that goes, you're all right. You're all right.
Millions of Americans.
I told you that before.
This is the Ed Till Show.
You want to come in here and start asking me questions, what up, I answer you. Believe me, I got no problem telling you what time it is. Believe me.
Consumer spending.
Or airlines.
Yes.
The talk of the session, certainly in Europe today, is how many airlines are hedged at this sort of level, because inevitably you've got
international. Are you hedged out? I'm hedged out.
Like Brent.
I'm hedged out, man. I got hedges all the way to the front yard. Too many.
Generally,
hedged
the rule is $10 price.
There were 8-foot hedges. I said cut them back to 6. It makes people feel short when they walk by the house. They feel very, unwelcomed. Big looming hedges. Cut them back to 6 feet. Guy says, man, poke me in the eye. I said, all right, they got to go. They're out. Hedged out. Hedged out. They are gone. So long, Hedges.
We're going to hear from Hampton Pearson
and Benson. Benson and Hedges, both out.
3 days the big one. This is the big one. Yes.
Oh, yeah, this is the big one.
Will we hear a decision
this is the big one.
Of course,
yep, that's what it is. This is the big one.
Over the internet.
I don't know who told you? How'd you get the word?
Cable companies charge.
Who told this guy this is the big one? It is the big one. But how do you? Would you sign up for the website or something? Did you go for the premium account? What do you? That's got to cost extra for the big one. The big one. Ed Till Show, Monday through Friday, Starcom Radio. Stand by for more. It's an incredible business, escorting truckers through the mountains on the mountain hills and roads, and also making music. That's coming up with Blue Collar Agglomeration.
Everybody.
Right now, Barbara Hall, my lovely ex, interview. We were together for like 18 minutes. It was like an 18-minute relationship. I was like, I said, I love your song. I love everything. She goes, oh my God, I think we're having a moment. I said, okay.
Everybody.
What do I do? She goes, well, that was it. I said, what was it? She goes, we just had a moment. I said, well, what does that mean? She goes, well, it's over now. Whatever you want it to mean. Oh. I said, well, then it was true. Then it was awesome. She goes, yeah. I said, okay. Thanks, Barbara. She goes, I'll be back on your show when I have another song like this. I said, come back on the show if you just got nothing to do tomorrow. Why don't you just stop by the studio? She goes, well, I'm on a horse farm in Winnipeg. Wow, in Winnipeg, Canada? She goes, no, Winnipeg County, Georgia. What is this, a geography bee? What are you?
Everybody's a vegetarian, except you, my man. Everybody's finding religion. Everybody's getting on their knees.
Exhale after this.
Everybody's lying in a gutter.
must wonder which one will write this kind of song. She wants to hang out with the bad man, drinking, and which one will be like,
my bad man.
I like those bad men, but I don't want to be around them. I'm afraid of what might. You always want. Is your kid going to be like, oh, they're so cool, or run? Because you want your kid to go, run! Just run! The minute they do any of that, just run! Come right up, your mother's right, just go find your mother. Whatever she... Run into the conference room while your mother is making a presentation to sell a building for $200 million and just go, Mom! That's it. And at least she'll know who to call. Because I'll be in Taipan trying to make some internet deal. You know how that goes. I'm not around much anymore, but call your mother on that iPhone. She got you there.
And I've got 2 daughters.
Yeah, you do. That's what I'm saying. See, it's great, except it's not helping him, is it?
President Biden and Jill Biden, Carol. But it also is clear, as I pointed out and we talked about in the interview, the politics here don't hurt as well.
As I pointed out, said in the interview, as I pointed out, and was said in the interview, and as I pointed out, Carol, and was said, God bless.
Vote. This is one of those issues that doesn't...
Lois Lane made these girls look bad.
Kate Baldwin, many thanks. Right now...
Kate Baldwin. Kate Baldwin? It's Bodan or something. Oh, my God. Do you ever see her last name spelling? It's deliberate to make you not know.
Maliki, as well as Sunni and Shiite leaders.
By the way, I think his name is Maliki, isn't it? As long as we're getting technical there.
Unified government formed before Iraq can stop this terrorist siege that's going on. Over the weekend, militant fighters did capture more towns and villages.
I'll tell you what's terrorizing me is this headache I've had for it seems like a week, all weekend. All right. She's starting to really get on my nerves.
Courtroom erupted. We saw it was a very packed courtroom today with many journalists, members of the diplomatic corps, as well as family members in the room. And when this very harsh sentence was handed down, the courtroom erupted. We saw Mohammed Fahmy hold the cage and scream out to try and speak to journalists. He was dragged away by police in the court. We saw people weep, colleagues, journalists were openly weeping in the courtroom, as were family members of the defendants. And what this ruling means, essentially, is that in Egypt, journalism is a crime. This case has been watched very closely. It brings terrorism-related charges to 20 defendants. The primary 3, of course, are Mohammed Fahmy, Beher Mohammed, and Peter Greste. And throughout this trial, and I've attended nearly every session, prosecutors have really shown very little evidence that these journalists did anything other than practice journalism itself. A lot of the video evidence presented in the court included videos that had nothing to do with their work with Al Jazeera, so videos with Peter Greste's work in Somalia with BBC, footage from Sky News Arabic, and then it was presented in a very slipshod and unprepared manner. And Amnesty International observers at the trial and other independent observers have said that this case really. It gives the little margin of freedom of expression and freedom of the press in Egypt that is continually shrinking. This ruling deals a very heavy blow to it today.
Yeah, so how do you and other journalists there in Egypt feel that this is going to impact your work?
Well, it's unclear. I mean, almost all journalists, I think, in the courtroom could have been held on these same charges. They weren't shown to do anything other than journalism, broadcasting opposition views. It's been unclear whether speaking, quoting, broadcasting the views of an opposition member, say from the Muslim Brotherhood, which has been designated a terrorist organization, could put a journalist into prison. So there's a lot of fear now that there'll be self-censorship and worry amongst journalists in Egypt. But this is a very severe message that the regime is sending, and I think that it has sparked worldwide condemnation and accusations of a crackdown on any kind of dissent. And I think we have to put it in this larger context of this crackdown on opposition voices, where we see courts handing down severe sentences to protesters of all political stripes, mass death sentences being handed down. And so the judiciary in Egypt really acting as a willing arm of repression that is happening right now.
Sharif, have you noticed this crackdown in the local media at all?
Yes, I mean, there's currently, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists, there's 16 journalists being held in Egypt right now. The majority of them are local journalists. I was at a protest, covering a protest just a couple of days ago, and at least 3 journalists were arrested. They have been since let go. But certainly this crackdown on the press has extended to all matters of the press, not just foreign media, but in fact, local media are more of a target usually.
Okay, Sharif Kudus, very interesting indeed to speak to you. Thanks for joining us there from Cairo. Well, Baha Mohammed has been sentenced to 10 years in jail, and Al Jazeera's Simon McGregor worked with Baha during the violent crackdown on anti-coup protesters in Cairo last year. He was full of praise for his work.
Positivity, guys. Chris Cuomo, live for us from Rio de Janeiro, and Rachel Nichols in New York. So, Chris, I'm coming to you in a minute, but Rachel, just for you first, talking